for as long as I can remember, farms have held a fascination for me. There's always machinery lying around. There's always something dumped in a corner out of the way and just left. And I'm here in a beautiful rolling hilled part of Shropshire at a farm, because there's not one, not two, we think maybe 4 or 5 vehicles to look at, but one in particular. A German car from the 80s that isn't 4-wheel drive, although everybody kind of thinks that they are. And it's in this shed here. I can just see it there, but even better than that, the guy bought a spare one. And he parked that one in there 20 years ago, and he's owned it since he thinks it was 4. So in this barn find episode, we're going to be digging that car out, possibly the second car, and having a look at a couple over there in barns, which are not German at all, they're British and 4x4. I'm Jonny Smith. You're watching The Late Break Show. So Pete, thank you for contacting us.
You're welcome.
I've seen a small photo of the car in here, and then you casually mentioned that you've got another one that you bought as a donor?
Parts car.
So tell me about this one here, because this is the main event.
In partnership with my father, we bought it in 1988. 88, I think, and we ran it, I think, until about 2003.
Okay.
Where it was backed in there. And that's where it's been ever since.
So it's been in there for 20 years?
Yeah, yeah.
And you bought it, it's a 1983 car?
Yes. Yeah.
So it was 4 or 5 years old?
Yes.
Why did it go in there? Was it broken?
No, I think it was, I kind of thought it might be a future classic.
Really?
And I thought that, no fancy electrics.
Yeah.
Just a nice car to drive.
Yeah.
But practicalities meant we needed something slightly different.
Yeah.
So it got parked up with the view of one day doing something with it.
So as a farmer, you said you co-own this with your dad.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, we shared it.
So you had a farm truck like most farms,
Yep.
or a Land Rover of some sort?
Yep. I had it on a Friday and Saturday night, and he had it during the week.
Really? Is that what it was?
Pretty much so.
So it was a few young farmers,
Yep.
weekends out?
Yeah, we had some good times in it.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's great that you... What's bizarre is the fact that all this time's gone by, you probably didn't think that you'd have it in there for 20 years.
No concept of that at all.
No.
No. I'd sort of forgotten about it, really. And it's only now we want to redevelop the site that we're thinking, what do we do with it?
Oh, is that you're going to knock this place down?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
ultimately, yeah.
And you've suddenly gone, probably need to get those cars out.
Absolutely.
Can you... When was the last time you opened the door?
Not lately.
No, because you said you weren't sure if it entirely
I
opened.
think, if I remember right, this one opens with it's tight in that corner.
Go on then,
So
if you can...
I think if we give it, it'll go a little bit. And I think it catches there with a little helping hand. I think. Yes. Right, mind the cobwebs.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. So we
you
haven't
can
even told the viewers what it is.
Ah, right.
What is your car, Pete?
It's an Audi 80 Sport,
Audi 80 Sport.
1983.
And what I love about Audi 80 Sports is, of that era, the Quattros were getting all the attention.
Yeah.
But the Audi 80 Sport is sort of a Golf GTI in a gentleman's suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
4-door saloon, but the underpinnings of a Golf GTI, so a hot hatch rather than a Quattro. Probably rarer than a Golf GTI now, I would say.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look.
So. Now then.
Well, at least you put the front under cover. That one's under a piece of wood. But we're less bothered about the condition of that one, even though Audi 80 Sports are seldom seen now. I mean, I guess they don't have the kudos of the coupe. They don't have the rally pedigree. But you've got some spots on it, Pete.
Oh yes, spotlights.
Because that's such a young farmer thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, these are the similar lights to my old. So did you said off camera you had an Audi coupe
Prior to this. Yes, a GT.
You had a GT.
5-cylinder GT.
Nice.
So yes, with a very expensive spotlight.
Oh, you've got Jubilee clips holding them on. we'll prioritise pulling this one out. We'll see if we can open this door and get this out into the sun. First time, so it hasn't been out in the sun for 20 years?
No.
Blimmin' heck. Do you want me to start it?
If you push at the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
and
hang on. Do you want me to pull from? Yeah. Oh, what was that?
keep going.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah. Go on. That's it.
Oh gosh.
That's it.
Oh, it's jammed. Hang on.
Hang on.
I can't go this side. Bend it a bit.
Bend it a bit.
Whack it while I.
Bend
that's
it.
it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Right. I don't trust that. I think we might get a broom handle, or
I think we need a wedge.
in the barn over there, where you see that Land Rover. Pete's got a pair of two-door Range Rovers, just casual. One of them you made into a pickup truck
Made it into a pickup truck.
in the 90s.
Yeah, probably about 97.
Okay, wow. And you've had it ever since, of course?
Yes.
Well, we'll have a look at those when we break for a coffee.
Right, so we get these. I think that's just. Okay. It's been de-auded.
You've lost a quarter
I have a
of your...
spare, look.
Oh yeah, there's one up
There's
there.
one up there.
Goodness, under the windscreen.
Under the
wiper.
windscreen wiper.
Been sat there for ages.
Yeah. So
why have you got two? Remind me. Because
it's identical. It's a year newer.
yeah,
It had MOT on it when I bought it, but I bought it for spares because some kind soul managed to smash this wing, the light, the bumper in a car park.
yeah,
And at the time, getting parts was
getting harder.
getting harder, and it just came up for sale, so I bought it there and then and drove it home.
So
20 years ago.
that's the thing. That would have been cheap, right? 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was not a lot of money if I remember right.
This looks nice, Pete.
It's not too bad.
It's bone dry in here.
It's luckily dry, and it's quite airy, I think, as well.
There's some bumpers down here, so I can't really walk down here.
Oh, that might be, yeah, that might be the bent one.
You got some spare bumpers.
A bumper.
So I'm thinking.
Are we going to try and drag it out now then?
Yeah, we need to put some air in at least one tyre.
This one's good. That one's good.
We'll air up.
The back one's good.
And I'll just check whether you've left the handbrake on or off. Let's hope that it's off.
I'm hoping you'll find the key in the ignition as well.
Well, yeah, you are right. The key is in the ignition.
Handbrake's off.
Handbrake is off and it's in neutral.
That's all positive.
I'm going to go and get my pump and start putting the tyres up. The great news is if the brakes are seized, because we're on a farm, we've got an abundance of vehicles to tug it out with.
Yep.
So that's always good, and we'll get it out there, and we'll have a better look round it out there, where access is easier. This is good. I know, you're impressed. I know you are. I know, I'm lazy. We've had some complaints that I've retired the foot pump. While we're waiting for this, why don't you like and subscribe? If you haven't already, of course. Subscribe. It really counts, it really helps. And if you have already, thank you. I'm trying to think, the last Audi barn find I did was a Quattro Turbo, early car. And if you haven't watched that barn find, I would recommend you do that. I mean, obviously I'm completely unbiased, obviously. We're just hoping that it comes out rolling rather than skidding. But either way, it's coming out today. So, it's been a while, hasn't it?
A long while.
It has.
Yeah, it's a bit dusty.
Well, it's really dusty. It's amazing those sort of those marks of condensation from the corrugated
off the corrugated roof. Yeah. So
yeah, it's got go faster stripes all down its roof.
Quite dry though.
But you know what? As we pulled it out, I did have a quick look at the bottoms of the doors and the sills, and they're pretty good.
They're not too bad.
They're pretty good. I mean, these were well made. A little bit on that leading edge of the front wing here.
Yeah.
Obviously, you replaced the other wing and you hadn't got round to the decals.
I haven't got the decals.
But that's okay. That's okay. The interior, you've got to see the interior. I mean, it's good. That's, that little
mark there.
hole there, which you probably did 25 years ago.
I think the foam's gone on the bolster.
Yeah, but I absolutely love the interior of these. I remember my Coupe GT had those 3 gauges.
Yeah, and they're angled to the driver as well.
They are angled to the driver, so right-hand drive specific on this case. And I think it's in really good condition. No, there's no mats in it, which is actually sometimes a good thing, because if any moisture comes in, mats on the top means that it never dries out. And the carpets look good. Back seat looks good. Parcel shelf, still got the original speakers.
Yep.
And the sunroof, is the sunroof, do you think it's factory?
I think it's factory, because I think the other one's got one as well.
Has it?
Yeah, I think that's factory.
I love these chunky buttons. They're so of their time on the edges of the binnacle. And those video gauges, they're so iconic.
143,000.
Yeah. So you used it a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had it quite a while, so 88 to about 2003, I think we parked it up.
Yeah. That sticker on the back window, the side window here.
Yeah, it's on the inside.
On the inside. I can't think of another car which has that so prominently. Because it says it there as well.
Yeah,
well, this is Audi Sport there, and then it says 80 Sport there.
80 Sport there.
And those decals are lovely. I mean, I really like the back of these with that spoiler.
Yeah, it looks well, I think.
Yeah. So the Audi 80 started in 1972, I'm sure. But the Sport didn't come out until I think it was 1983 in the UK anyway. So this might be the first year of the Sport.
Well, the Coupe and the Saloon shared the same front end.
Yeah.
So I know that the the 1983, 82, 83 is on a Y.
Yeah.
Certainly our Coupe we had was a Y.
Yeah. You saying your Coupe was a quad headlight?
Yes. I think it was quite an early one.
So lovely.
Oh.
I've got a few spiders.
A few spiders.
Come on, guys. Wow, that's good. You've still got the original sticker, look. Giving you tyre pressures and different, those are the different styles of alloys at the time. I think yours are the Ronal ones. 2 spares.
Probably one of those is the spare off the other. I've probably rotated the tyres.
So there's a bit of rot down there, opposite side to the spare wheel.
Above the chassis rail, that isn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably easy fixed there.
The exhaust didn't fall off though. Sometimes you get the exhausts kind of exiting the building. But fit and finish of panels is good.
The rust on the inner bumper's rusty.
Yeah. Yeah. But like rear valance looks pretty good. I mean, like you said, a bit of crust on the spare wheel well on the opposite side. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, Pete, I mean, it's weird to think, isn't it? Since you've parked this up, it's become tax and MOT exempt.
You never would have thought of that when you put it away. That was not the idea when I put it away. I just wanted to keep it for later.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was going to destroy it.
When later is now.
Later's now, yeah, sadly. The interesting part will come if we get it back on the road. Will it drive as I remember it?
Let's have a look at the engine. So I don't think, and you might be able to correct me, I don't know if there's any differences between this and the Golf GTI engine.
Only ancillaries, I think.
Yeah.
Just positioning and
positioning and of course in the engine bay, yeah. Because it's longitudinal, because for the Quattro application and this whole subframe, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Which is why it sits in such an odd position, and the coupes have the radiator at the side.
At the side here.
That's right, it was down here.
Yep, yep. To be fair, I think not long before, I've got a feeling that we had a new coil not long before, because I remember having an issue with it when my wife was driving it and it was electrical. Yeah, badly needing a clutch cable, obviously.
Yeah, I noticed your kind of wood spacer.
A little modification to probably to get it back in the shed. Hopefully it'll live to see another day.
Oh, it will. Let me get my tools. I'll squirt some misting oil down there when we got the plugs out, and we'll see if we can turn it over maybe on a bar.
Yeah.
See if these are seized.
Yeah. Cool. Right.
One thing we can definitely do, it's on a bit of a hill.
Yeah, we can rock it.
Put it in second gear or something,
Yep.
and we'll give it a nudge.
Oh yeah, we're going.
You hear it?
Yeah, and the pump and the alternator's turning.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, that's really good. There we go. You see?
Like a 2-year-old.
Free as a bird. Brilliant. We now know that the alternator and the water pump aren't seized, which is good. Plugs back in, dress up the ignition as we do usually, rotor arm, distributor cap, just to make sure the contacts are nice and shiny. See where the fuel system comes in from the back and remove it so it doesn't inject old fuel into the system. And then we can probably go for a turnover. I think we need to take off the fuel line. Work out exactly which fuel line we need to take off. This is the difficulty when you're not familiar with every engine that I come and do as a barn find. If I owned one of these recently and I worked on it recently, you'd know. But sometimes, you know, every car's slightly different orientation, and I can't always find out the finer details. And we don't know the exact condition that cars are in when we come to a barn find. We don't know if they've been eaten alive by animals, missing ancillaries, all of those variables. We don't fake this stuff, I promise you. So we're just trying to segregate the fuel system so we can put the can of hope on potentially. And I've just been looking up online where the different valves are and things like that. The cold idle valve is there. The warm up regulator or something is down there. Don't know where the fuel pump is. I'm sorry, viewers, I really don't. I'm going to have a look at the back. It's been so long since the last car I worked on with this engine was a Mark II Golf GTI, and that was 2005. So that's the last time I stared at one closely. So we will do a bit more Googling and try and get some of these off without hurting them. Quick recap time while I'm trying to get the distributor cap back on. Just cleaned up rotor arm and stuff. Pete's been rooting around in his work shed and got some decent fuel fittings, which means we can fit the can of hope on, which is good. So now we're about ready with a fresh battery on it to turn over. I'm leaving one of the plugs out to see if we get a spark, and at the same time we'll know if the fuel pump works, because we should get fuel coming out of there where the fuel pumps, there's two of them on these, and they're right at the back. Well, I think one's in the tank, one's outside near the sill, so we can see what condition the old fuel is in, if there is any, but it won't go in the engine. And then if we get a spark, we know we can introduce the fuel, and I will tap into that with ye old can of hope from Tony BMW, which is fresh fuel that I bought this morning, freshly baked, and then we can see if the Audi 80 Sport wants to fire up.
All right.
Right. Okay.
We going for gold?
Yeah, we're going for gold.
Right. I have ignition light.
Good. Do you have anything else?
I can't hear a fuel pump.
No, neither can I. No, I can't. I mean, to be honest, it's not a big surprise if the fuel pump's knackered.
Yeah.
But let's see if it turns. Yeah. Okay, we've got a spark.
Got spark.
So I can immediately put the,
plug in.
the last plug back in. It turned over nicely, which is pleasing.
Yeah.
Right. And shall I introduce the can of hope? Are you happy for us to go for a start?
Let's go for it.
Right.
That's a fantastic invention.
Well, I wish I was clever enough to invent something else, but this is the handiwork of Tony BMW. This is my go-to companion on every barn find now.
Oh, it makes so much sense.
It means I don't have to worry about any of the original fuel system.
Yeah, and that's usually a problematic issue anyway.
Yeah. That's also problematic when you spray your own trousers. Bollocks. I've just taken my gloves off. Sprayed my watch, crotch. They rhyme. I smell like I'm wearing a 70s aftershave. Right, so that's...
Route 33.
Yes. Oh, that'll be lack of fuel.
That'll be lack of fuel.
Yeah. Well, that kicked over straight away, so that's good. Good start. See if we can try that again. There's a farting noise down there, isn't there?
Yeah, what have we got?
Is that the exhaust?
Oh, it could well be.
Oh, I know what the hissing is. It's blown that plug out, or that plug's not all the way in like it should be.
Oh, the one we tried for spark?
Yeah. Right. Let's try that again. I think, like you say, underfueling is currently the issue.
Yeah, I think it's fuel.
Yeah, I know. We have a bit of a problem, I'm afraid, with my can of hope. The high volume electric fuel pump seems to have just stopped working. We've taken apart the switch. It's not the switch. I think, sorry Tony, that it's gone kaput, which means we're relying on a low volume. You can hear it tick, tick, ticking, which is for carburettor engines. So what I think we're doing is we're under-fueling it, which is why it's not idling properly. So we're going to see if we can bodge that together. And if we can't do that, I mean, there's no fuel coming out of there.
No, no return fuel.
Which means the fuel pump on the car does not work. So that's the situation. Okay, so what we're doing is we are sadly having to sort of semi-butcher the can of hope. This black, oh there we go. This black fuel pump, I think has gone wrong. It's just stopped working. But we've managed, there's a garage next door. Pete's just gone round to the friendly garage and they've got a pump with some crocodile clips on it that they use for misfueling, customers that misfuel. Right, it will run this time and idle, I am sure. We have a borrowed electric fuel pump that does work. I'm going to attach the crocky clips. There we go, it's primed straight up. Nice. There it is. Straight away. Slightly lumpy, isn't it? Is it misfiring? There's a little misfire, isn't there?
Oh!
You all right? Oh, sugar plum fairy.
Pump's pumping, but it's not going anywhere.
Do you know what it is? I bet you one of these, because one of these didn't like sitting home properly, and I wonder if...
We're running on 3.
Yeah, and it's popped off.
So he's got Jubilee clips on all the others, but not on that one. So if you had a spare Jubilee clip, we could pop one on there.
Do you want me to get you another Jubilee clip?
I think that would be a good idea.
I'm so glad I put them in today.
Yeah.
So it runs?
It runs. Yeah, you
It
have to.
runs with a bit of a bodge fuel system. Don't look. Don't look here. So should we try that again?
We're going again?
Yeah, we'll try that again.
Which,
We'll see if it idles smoothly.
let's just check we got. No, it's not liking that, is it?
No. Well, we could leave it at that and I call it a win. What I don't want to do is, you know, make it run for the sake of it. We know it wants to run and we know it needs a recommissioning.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the pressure of this pump is compared to what that system needs.
Do you think it might be over zealous? It's twitchy.
It's going a bit mad.
Like a fish out of
But
water.
I suspect you're right. I think the ignition circuit's probably a bit on the tired side as well. So
Yeah.
we could be misfiring there as well.
Yeah. I call that, though, I do call that a win. Do we agree that's a win? We've got it running
think
after
so.
21 years.
Yep.
And thank you very much.
That's good. That's
And we've got just enough time to go and look at your Range Rovers in the barn.
oh, right. Okay.
So you brought me into the barn opposite. Over the phone, Pete did say I have other cars other than the Audi. And yes, 2 classic Range Rovers.
2 classic Range Rovers, amongst others.
This is a brilliant single cab pickup.
That's my baby. Yep. Converted that in about 97, and
Wow.
for up until eight years ago,
And what's it based on? What year is the classic?
1972.
Oh, it's a really early one.
Yeah. Again, it needs a bit of TLC.
Pete's brought a battery along because he's confident that it will fire. So it was converted to a TDI.
Yes, it's out of a Discovery.
Cool.
Everything under the engine bay was out of the Discovery. It had been smashed in the side.
Okay. That's a lot of work, this.
It was a lot of work.
And you've used the tailgate.
The tailgate works. Or used to.
That's great. So it's still a hatchback-ish.
Ish.
A hatchback pickup.
Yeah, I think they call it a space cab now, with that little bit of room behind the seat, because
Yeah.
I've got long legs and
Yeah.
I wanted the movement. Here it goes.
Look at that. When was the last time you started this?
8 years ago,
Really?
5 years ago, 8 years ago, I don't know.
8 years ago. Bloody hell. That's impressive. I wish all barn finds were like this. I really do. And what's the story with this one? Because
This was bought theoretically just so that I could have a 2-door Range Rover. It's come from France. It's left-hand drive.
Ah, okay.
Okay, it's an 86, so it's not particularly old.
Oh, it's just got an older.
Yeah, I think that's standard spec. It's got the 200 TDI, the same as that. But underneath, it's absolutely mint.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely mint.
It's
Look
nice.
Look at the bottom of the A and B pillars.
Yeah, so
it's-
it's had a pampered life.
It's nice. It's nice.
So what are you going to do with it? Just
Well, I was going to convert it to right-hand drive and do a few gentle mods to it, and
Yeah.
just have it as a usable vehicle.
yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. We've got Pete's wife Ali in the driving seat. She's going to steer. We're going to go round to the pressure washer to hopefully give it a little wash. Can you see, Ali?
Go on, turn it round.
That's it.
That's it. Keep the speed up.
Oh, I love a rubber boot spoiler. It's dead comfortable. God, that got hard quickly.
Ooh.
Oh, there's a speed round.
There's a
That's what it is. Oh, about there.
out there.
About there.
Just, want to put the handbrake under, Johnny?
Oh yeah, handbrake. Yeah,
It's all right. I'm fine.
yeah. I didn't bring my pressure washer today because I couldn't fit it in my little Honda. But it turns out there's an industrial one at the farm, but we have toned it down because I don't want to blow the Audi to smithereens. But ready? sun's out, farmyard. The car ran. And actual fact, the car cleaned up a lot better than I was expecting.
It doesn't look half bad, actually.
It's a really good straight car, Pete. You know, these blemishes and things are pretty minor. The worst of the rust is that spare wheel well
in the boot.
But
It's a new lavender to make it smell nice again.
Yeah, Pete said that he put the lavender on the dash 21 years ago, just in case it started to smell musty. It doesn't smell musty.
I think somebody must have given me that, otherwise I don't think I'd have done it out of my own.
It's on there.
It's on there.
It's on there. And thanks for letting me come along and.
It's been fantastic. I'm more than welcome.
Thanks for looking at the Audis and looking at your lovely Range Rovers as well.
That's no problem at all.
It's been a fun barn find day. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Late Break Show. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love you to subscribe. We have a full barn find playlist. I think I've done 60 of them now. I'll put that on the screen somewhere. And if you want to support us via Patreon, you get to watch videos like this early. You're more than welcome. There's a link in the description. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.